Hi and welcome to this tutorial about Simutrans. Today we figure out how many mail tracks we need between the towns. Alright, we should now take a look on the national level in my town, because my town itself is Finnish. No more thing to do at the moment. Here we have the national station, which also are part of a local system. But the station is crowded. We have lots of bags, more than they can handle. So this station no longer collects mail around it. Mail coming on the mail track are not affected at the moment. And what are missing is too low capacity on incoming and outgoing mail. And Hepton is one of the bigger problems. But let us take this closely. So bring up the national map, and now it's actually good to have the city name. We have my town here and Hepton down here. But Hepton is not in a stable situation yet, because we have started to empty the town itself by increasing the number of mail tracks, so the station down there should be green instead of orange. So that town is not in a stable situation yet. But we can work with Barrington up there, which have a slightly number of mail bags, and your town down here. So now is to figure out how many mail track we need on the national line. And we can also see here, just for demonstration purpose, there is actually no mail bag to Old Well. So the bigger problem is Hepton, Yorktown, and little problem with Barrington. The number of mail bag for Barrington is not a problem yet, but when I start working with Hepton, they will probably send some of the mail bag up to Barrington. So at the moment I simply add one more mail track on the line my town Barrington. And we look up the depot, and we send mail track which used to empty the station previously. So we simply take one of them and give them the line for my town Barrington, line 51. No, 51, and send that out. That can you do if you have a small problem and you can figure out, yes, they only need one mail track or maybe two. When it comes to your town, it's a complete other story. Here we need to figure out how many mail track. And I don't have found a good way to actually do this mathematically, because they don't provide proper statistics about how much the station increase per line. So you simply need to try to figure out how many mail track you need. So move on to my town, your town. That line, which at the moment have one mail track. And we can bring up the station down in your town too. And we set your town, my town on suitable location. Let's see, where is this mail track now? There. Alright, they should just enter mail station for my town. So now we simply let this mail truck enter the mail station in my town and pick up the mail. And just to make it more easy to see, you can actually go underground. But you can also keep a close look on what they're writing here. So when this changes from my town to your town, you know they have filled up the truck. And there they have filled the truck. The interesting number is now here, 505. And I have a special calculation sheet for this. So 505. And now we want to know what are the number in your town. Because we should figure out how many trucks we need. I will explain this sheet later. So now we simply wait for this mail truck to arrive in your town and see how many mail they have there. The mail truck have now reached your town mail central station and pick up a new load of mail. So now we take a look how much mail are actually left here, and that is 766. 766. And now we should up to my town again and see the situation there when we have finished one round trip. The mail truck is now back in my town, and we should see which change we have on the mail situation now. There they have loading up, and it's 535. 535. That is an increase. But it could be interesting to see how it is in the other town too, because we maybe need more mail truck than just cover my town. So let us now drive this mail truck down to the station in your town and see how the situation are there after one round trip. The mail truck is now back in your town and should load it up. There they have loaded, and we stop the time, and let's see now. 791. 791. No, 1. That is also an increase of number of bag waiting. Alright, to this spreadsheet. This have we talked about in a previous episode. Here is how handle mail and passenger. Here the capacity, here the number of waiting passenger and mail before and after a round trip. Here is the difference. So we have an increase by 30 mail bag in my town and 25 mail bag in your town. To cover that we need one mail truck, but I normally multiply this difference by 2. So I set in double the number of mail truck I need. The reason why I do this is mail generated mail. So now when the mail start to actually arrive, they will send mail back. So if you only set in the exact number of mail truck you need to slightly lower the number of mail bag, the statistic of waiting mail bag will start dropping slowly, and many times after a couple of months start to increase again, because mail generated mail, so you need more mail truck. That is also the reason why I in Hepton send out so many new mail tracks, because when the mail start to arrive there, they will send more mail. So you need to be a little aggressive here if you don't should go back and forth, sending out one track too little, sending out one more. That will take enormous amount of time. So be a little aggressive here and multiply the number of track you need by 2. And down here I simply have a max formula which takes the biggest number of these 2, which in this case is 1. So we need one more mail track on the line between my town and your town. But notice this. This is at the moment. You need one more mail track now. But when we start to sending mail from our part, for example fixing the problem in Hepton, that situation can change. The same thing will happen if the towns grow and start sending more mail. But we can only act on the information we have now and what we can figure out will happen. Alright, one more mail track, and we simply take the mail track we have sitting in the depot up in my town. And there come the mail track out. Alright, this is a quite time-consuming process, and if you should actually figure out how many mail tracks you need on our station, you need to wait to the mail to be moved. So you normally work with more than one station at a time, and there is a way to find overcrowded station. One is in the message center. You see here information about overcrowded station. Hepton, for example, my town, your town. So if you click here, you have a small window and can simply move to that station. That is one way of finding overcrowded station. The other is through list, and there is a list for station. There you have. And this list can be sorted in different way. And here we can see overcrowded and waiting station. So all red stations are stations which are crowded. And you can now go through each crowded station one by one and solve the problem there. But when you're dealing with mail, you normally initially only move the problem between different stations. And it also takes quite a time, especially if you have a lot of mailbag lying and waiting. And many times they actually only switch mailbag with each other. So the waiting number of mailbag don't decrease in the station. It's just other line which are waiting. For example, the local line or other national line, because the mailbags start to arrive as they should. So simply go back and forth and do something else when you wait for a more stable situation. That was everything I have to show you. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. In the next tutorial we take a look on two special solutions. One handling fluctuation in the mail delivery, and one when you have unbalance in the direction of the mail, and how you can handle it. Thank you for your time.